So absolutely my favorite Mario game is Mario Galaxy 2. It's pretty hard because Mario Galaxy 1 has the incredibly gorgeous hub world. I gotta say, the planet that is the Mario head in Mario Galaxy 2 is definitely less exciting than the hub world from Mario Galaxy 1, but it's much easier to navigate the menu and actually get to the levels. As for Mario Odyssey, which is the other game it's in contention with, Odyssey is also absolutely wonderful and looks visually so much better. I want an HD remake of Mario Galaxy 2 so badly. But the issue that I have with that is that I think it almost over-rewards you. It gives you a reward for doing absolutely anything. Mario Odyssey is an incredible game. I just think the Galaxy 2 is a little bit better. For me, I love the idea of taking platforming, taking a platformer like conventional Mario, and instead of platforms, you have planets, and the planets have gravity that works in different directions and power-ups that just allow you to solve puzzles in such creative and inventive ways. For me, the biggest thing about it is when you're trying to play to get every single star. So not just playing the story, but actually getting every star feels like a very achievable goal if you just put in the work. And when you get one at the end of a tough level, it is so rewarding. Again, with Mario Odyssey, you get rewarded for everything, and getting every moon feels like a very unachievable goal because there's just so many of them. Mario Galaxy 2, in my opinion, is the best Mario experience. I love it. I please, HD remake for the Switch. I want it.
Hey guys, PickSurprise here. I just want to say that my favorite game of the Mario series is probably, and call me weird for thinking this, but Mario Party. I'd say either 7 or 8, and that's purely because I used to play it a lot with my family. You know, my cousins would come around, we'd all play it on the Nintendo Wii, and yeah, it's just, I think the mini games that made that game so great and special. Like, I got so competitive that I almost threw my controller at the TV once, because I wasn't winning, and my 12-year-old cousin was beating me, and that was the appropriate reaction, of course. I'm sure a lot of you will agree. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
Yo, what's up guys? I'm Cappy, and my favorite Mario game is Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, which I'm going to refer to as TTYD for the rest of this. Continuing off of its predecessor, TTYD takes what made Paper Mario great and improves almost all of it. It keeps the 8 chapters Mario has to travel through and 7 crystal stars to collect, like the 7 star spirits, but goes through completely new locations. Mario travels through a port infested with thieves and the mafia, leads an army to take back their home in a giant tree, gets involved in professional fighting, and even shoots himself to the moon. Usually, story isn't as big of a thing for me in games, and TTYD's overall story is pretty standard in its skeleton, but I'm particularly fond of some of the themes explored in TTYD in its individual chapters. A Mario game that explores the concept of machine AI being more than just that and experiencing real human emotion in a Mario game? It's so cool! And not having Bowser as the main villain was pretty refreshing. TTYD keeps going with the paper theme, but takes it a little further with new paper abilities Mario can learn. He can become a paper airplane, an ultra-thin Paper Mario, a rolled-up Paper Mario, and a paper boat. All of these abilities help Mario access new areas and find secrets hidden throughout the game. It's a nice little touch on the paper theme without going too overboard with it, which I really like, and it makes it so you don't always need a partner to traverse through some of the overworld's puzzles like in the original, which I also really like. Speaking of the overworld, the graphics and locations still hold up even to this day, but its level design is just a little lacking compared to the original. Most of TTYD's locations boil down to hallways going left and right. It's the weakest part of TTYD. Despite this, a lot of the puzzles are really neat, and they did a good job with what they created. Besides the meat of the game's story, there are a ton of side quests to take on throughout the game that fetch you neat rewards, including slots or mini-games at a casino to win big. And then there's the Pit of 100 Trials, a monstrous challenge where you fight through 100 floors of enemies with a boss at the end. It's the ultimate test of combat. They'll have you thinking on your feet the entire time. Speaking of combat, let's go over it. With the badge system, Mario is free to pick and choose what abilities he and his partners have in battle. You can equip abilities that deal more damage to certain enemies, attack a lot of enemies, use multiple items in a single turn, or even inflict a status effect. You can equip badges that increase your attack power, defense power, and give yourself status immunity. There's a lot going on, and it can seem overwhelming at first, but the low numbers produced by both Mario and enemies makes things really simple to understand. You'll know an enemy's attack power and defense pretty quickly, since even one damage increased or decreased can make a big difference. The low numbers are really cool and make seeing something like 10 plus damage feel like you're dealing thousands in a normal RPG. Mario has only a few stats: HP, FP, and BP. HP is your health, FP is how you use your special abilities, and BP is how you enable those special abilities. The level up system lets you choose which one to increase, so you can tailor the stats to exactly how you want to play. Want a lot of HP and little FP and BP? Go for it. Only BP increased? You got it. Mario also has star power, which allows him to use ultra powerful special moves given to him by the crystal stars as he collects them. The game just oozes depth, and is bolstered by the action command system, which allows Mario and his partners to increase damage they deal and reduce damage they take from enemies. Seriously, the game's combat system is just... it's so good. Easily my favorite of any game I've played, RPG or not. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is not just my favorite Mario game, but my favorite game of all time.
How's it going, YouTube? It's me, Steven WXYZ. We here in beautiful Mazatlan, Mexico. I'm from Steven WXYZ Games, and my favorite Mario game of all time is Super Mario Kart. I grew up with Super Mario World, but Super Mario Kart, I played all the time. I loved that game. Got the original Rainbow Road, no walls. That game, I played it again when I got older. It's hard, man. I was much better as a kid. I don't know how that works, but I was way better as a kid. It's my favorite game because it's one of the most fun racing game franchises of all time. I mean, you got Forza and you got lots of other ones. Forza is my other favorite now, but growing up, that was my favorite game. Very nostalgic for me. Soundtrack is awesome. The colors are awesome. Gotta love the homie Yosh. You can invite your friends over. You can play the battle mode. You got 3 balloons. Hit 3 times. You're done. But that was the #1 game for me growing up. I mean, I loved Sonic, Sega, but that was the game for me. I always played it, always invited my friends over, always messed them up in battle mode, raced against them, played with my sisters. It's just the most fun I ever had as a kid playing that game. Just thinking about it, give me some goosebumps. Lots of good races. You got a bunch of Bowser Castle courses. You got a lot of Ghost House courses. Now they only give you 1 of each per game, and I don't like that. I like having almost every cup. You got a Bowser Castle, you got a Ghost House, nice soundtracks. I just loved it. Couldn't get any better than that as a kid. And it's still one of the most popular racing games out there. They're still making it. They just came out with the mobile game, Mario Kart Tour. So, when you love a game, you gotta love the roots. You gotta love the OG. And Super Mario Kart is the OG. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. Let's see what's coming up. What other Mario games are out there that people love. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Game Domain, for letting me be in this video. Steven WXYZ, signing off.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii is made with the finest ingredients of game design. It contains a wide variety of levels and worlds to play through, with some hidden secrets to really spice things up. You can enjoy Super Mario Bros. Wii by yourself, or with some friends. Although it does make for a more tasteful experience if you have someone else to share it with. The presentation is also to be commended. The colors really pop, which makes it a game that really stands out. Once you're done with New Super Mario Bros. Wii, you will no doubt be salivating for more.
Hello there, my name is Albelio from the channel Albelio, because I'm so original and I'm going to tell you why Super Mario World is my favorite Mario game. Because Game Domain is holding my pet turtle hostage, and if I don't make this video, they're going to Goomba stomp him. Super Mario World is leagues above just about all the other Mario games with good graphics because I totally don't have a 16-bit bias. Not to mention the music, which has lasted through the years almost as long as the mother-in-law you can't wait to keel over so she doesn't threaten you at Thanksgiving anymore because you'll never be good enough for her precious daughter. But these are merely surface level factors that only help to show how polished this game is. What is more important is to make like Arby's and show you the meats. Like the gameplay. Super Mario World offers some of, if not the crispest control of Mario to date, capitalizing on and fixing all the controls and features of Super Mario 3. Gone are the days of Mario sliding around like Link on ice, as well as he feels like he's gained just the right amount of weight, and he doesn't float like Kirby after eating a tank of helium. No, Mario goes where you want, when you want. Precision jumps on platforms, Koopalings, or Peach. Swimming in this franchise was awful up to this point, though you can still argue even now, but the swimming has never been as good as it is here. Now you can control the rate at which you ascend or descend. By holding up, you ascend so fast anyone else would be stricken with the bends like Jaws popped in asking if you found Jesus. Although after that, I'm sure you would. Or down on the control pad to slow your ascent like you're holding under a sack of kittens to save on cat food. Flight becomes a thing after the introduction of the feather. Now Mario can fly across entire levels and look like Captain Underpants the entire time. And this is the game that introduced Yoshi and all the ways you can play with him by eating Koopas, apples, or lost car keys. Not to mention, if you have a black heart, you can just jump off him to save your own skin. And he can swallow Koopa shells of different colors to do different tricks. Blue shells are apparently made out of Red Bull, yellow to throw a temper tantrum, and red to spit hot beats, yo. Except the green. No one cares for the green. Not to mention the level design is great. There aren't enemies thrown at you lazily like Simon's Quest on NyQuil. No, they are here to serve a purpose and their placement is great. Whether it be a line of Koopas to show you that punting one of their hollowed out allies' shells through them gains you a life, or how a Koopa who retired from kidnapping princesses found God and took up the healthy exercise of climbing can be punched straight off of the fences and fall into the lava. All of these and more are featured in various levels strewn throughout a world for you to explore. Everything from Yoshi's Island to the diabetes-inducing Chocolate Island. Each location ending in a castle unique to the zone with almost as many lava pits as the Mega Man series has spikes. And if you struggled with any of these castles, then managed to conquer it, you were rewarded with Mario obliterating each one in different humorous ways to release the tension. Everything from TNT to forcefully employing them into the Mushroom Kingdom's failed space program with the newly labeled Castle Columbia. And if the castles and fortresses aren't enough of a challenge for you, there are the Star Road levels which grant you access to different colored Yoshi. And even further beyond are the special levels, which are the precursor to Mario Maker levels, so frustrating that you'll be eating your controller for lunch and hanging yourself with the cord. And completing these levels transforms the whole world like Ganon acquired the Triforce. Koopa shells are replaced with Mario masks, bullet bills become crows that carry off children in their talons, and piranha plants have rotting jack-o'-lanterns for heads. The exact kind of Tim Burton-inspired nightmares for kids to enjoy while we bow down to our Lord and Savior Mario, creating the world in his image. So there you go, this is why Super Mario World is my favorite Mario game. Thank you, Game Domain, for letting me on, and take it away, whoever's next. Oh, my turtle. Thank you for returning it. What did you do?
Super Mario Odyssey is my favourite Mario game. With a franchise with such rich history, with so many amazing games to choose from, why the newest iteration? Well, in truth, it comes down to the mechanics. Each level is designed to be fully open instead of gameplay corridors like in the Galaxy series, and the moveset adjusts for that. Being able to have all of the standard moves from Mario 64 along with tossing and bouncing off the cap, the fact you can cancel ground pounds or cap tosses into dives, spring bounces from ground pounds, and combining all of the above moves to become the best mechanics for traversing these toy box style levels. Not only that, but using Cappy to possess certain enemies and using their own quirks to become their own fleshed out gameplay ideas is truly magnificent, and it's used to the fullest effect in every single area for every type of enemy you can possess. The new areas are also a breath of fresh air. You get a wide metropolis full of humans, you get a Mexican themed desert with ice everywhere, you got an industrial area overgrown with forest inhabited by watering cans, you've got a food-based kingdom with forks and knives as your NPCs, you have a beach and underwater area which is beautiful to look at, and my goodness, the Bowser level is fantastic. Also, you get to become a T-Rex and a human! The fact that you can just carry on collecting moons in a huge level without having to come back to the hub world adds such a level of freedom of choice
that it really sets it apart from all of the other iterations. You can just really delve into the richly designed toy boxes and collect 880 unique moons throughout the entire game. With that much content on display while not becoming stale and repetitive is an achievement in itself. This game plays to the Switch's strengths in that you can pick it up and play for however long you want. It's fun start to finish with Nintendo's creative design on full display. Linearity is a thing of the past as you make your own way and are rewarded for ingenuity in how you traverse the levels. Whether you want to play for 20 minutes whilst on the train, you feel like you're making as much progress in discovering something new as you would while docking it and playing it for hours. Nintendo knew they had a winner on their hands, along with the polish, the soundtrack, the costume collectibles, the fun mini-games, the amazing free movesets you have, and the amazing post-game content. Super Mario Odyssey truly is the embodiment of Nintendo's philosophy, to make games fun above all else.
How's it going, gamers? My name is SynchroChamp, and I'm here to tell you about my favorite Mario game, which is Super Mario Maker 2. Now, why Mario Maker 2, I hear you ask? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and the answer is because I really enjoy playing pick-a-door levels. Wait. No, I don't. Oh, it's because I really like playing pick-a-pipe levels. No, that's not it either. Yeah, that's it. It's because I really like playing really slow snake levels that take 500 seconds to get to the flag. Wait a minute. No, I don't think it's that one either. Oh, it's because I really like jumping into the void and not seeing where to land, Leap of Faith style. Oh, it's because I like playing online multiplayer with really hefty lag that you can't play through. But in all seriousness, I actually do really like Super Mario Maker 2, and it's because of my Twitch affiliate status. I've streamed on Twitch for many years, and nothing really came of it for a long time until I got a capture card and started streaming Mario Maker 2. It's a great game for that, and it got me to Twitch affiliate. It's a great way to connect with my viewers. It's just a great game all around. You have infinite content. I know I said some content that was pretty bad in it, but you don't have to play that stuff. You can play what's actually good, and there's a lot of that. And side-scrolling Mario has actually never appealed to me before this game, to be honest, so it's really interesting that it's my favorite Mario game, but I can't help it. It's just such a fun time, especially while streaming it. See you later, gamers.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy King Hepburn, and this is a video for Game Domain going over my favorite Mario game, and that has to be Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube. Was the first time it came out. Came out back in 2002, July 19th, and it was like, that's a game that every time I boot it up, it gives me this nostalgia that's of what Mario, like, now you have Odyssey, but before you had Sunshine, and it was like very revolutionary. Nintendo always has this thing where what they do is they try something new, and usually it works, sometimes it doesn't, but this is one of those things that definitely work. You were back in Isle Delfino, you had Flood with you, and it was just crazy. The environment alone, all the different stages. I know Mario is good for its stages, but all the different stages it had, right? The manta ray stage, the roller coaster park, you had the hub, right? The water worlds, the manta racing, the first world with the giant octopus. It was something that was amazing, and all the mechanics that it introduced as well with 3D platforming. Don't get me wrong, the 3D platforming kind of sucked, right? It was a little bit ahead of its time for what it was, but it worked. As a casual player, you don't realize that, but as a speedrunner or something, I imagine you realize that. There's a reason why this game is one of the most speedrun games of all time, and it's because it is definitely one of those games that not only opened up something new for Nintendo to do when it comes to their 3D platforming and stuff like that, it paved the way between back Super Mario 64 and Odyssey. And then after, it was that middleman, right? In the GameCube, now you forget about it. Similar, it's about 10 years from now, we'd forget about Odyssey. But it's something that introduced something new. Not only just the platforming, but the fact that you had Flood, the fact that you had all these different things that you could do, it wasn't just about collecting the stars anymore, collecting the sprites in this case. It was about using the environment, using a whole bunch of different mechanics. And it was just amazing. The story was pretty funny. It was back when I did it when I was a child. It was awesome. The levels were challenging. The levels were definitely challenging. It wasn't an easy game. Now a lot of the games are easy games. They hold your hand. It's hard to die in them, stuff like that. It was not an easy game, and to master this game, you have to be at that next level, right? Every single different type of level brought something new to, like, completely different environments, right? Like how Super Mario Odyssey has completely different environments. Very fun atmosphere, and it was just overall just probably one of the best games I've ever played in my life. And I always wanted a Super Mario Sunshine 2. I bet you I'm not the only one. They ended up coming with Odyssey, which had a lot of unique characteristics, but it just wasn't the same for me. So this is by far, Super Mario Sunshine was by far my favorite Mario game, and I hopefully Nintendo makes another one, because I bet you that would be a big, huge cash cow for them, because there's a lot of people who love that game. Thank you so much.
My name is Zildjian65, and my pick for my favorite Mario game has to be Mario Sunshine. It's not the best game out of all the Mario games, but it's not the worst, and it's definitely the most unique. The introduction of the whole new world in there, the water mechanics, the whole new battle system, everything about the game I just love. Sure, a game like Odyssey is more grandiose and bigger, or a game like 64 is more groundbreaking. But I feel like Sunshine is right there in the middle, sitting there, and it's just perfect the way it is. Especially with the speedrunning community and how they've sort of kept the game alive for the past almost 20 years now. That has really helped the game for me, and I love watching streams of the game to this day, and I love finding new ways to play it myself. I just played it on an emulator fairly recently, and I loved it still. Thanks for having me, Game Domain, and I'll see you later.
Greetings, Game Domain audience. I'm Blue Knight, and being asked what my favorite Mario game used to be a tough question. I had some titles that stood out to me from the franchise, but never considered what my absolute favorite was. Until I played Super Mario Odyssey. It's not for the story, we all know the song and dance of that by now, although there are some charming moments. It's a case of the journey being more memorable than the destination. The game plays out like an open world sandbox, with each level being incredibly distinct in its environment, atmosphere, challenges, and music. While on the topic of the soundtrack, it is loaded with catchy pieces that I find getting stuck in my head a lot, from the main song to something like Steve Gardens. Due to the open nature of the game, Odyssey is very simple to boot up and run around. You can rely on finding moves out in the open for progress, or explore every nook and cranny of the landscape to find some of the more hidden locations. It's a game that rewards intense searching, and as someone who loves being thorough at this kind of genre, it fills me with so much joy when I find something that's not out in the open. Odyssey is like taking the non-linear aspect of Mario 64 and Sunshine to an extent, while sprinkling in the vibe of Mario Galaxy for presentation. It's the perfect recipe for what might be the best Mario game that's come out in years. Think of it as the biggest love letter to everything Mario related, as there is so much fan service in it. Odyssey was like coming full circle for me, as my first game ever was Mario 64. So playing through this was kinda surreal, but in the best way. This is one title I'll definitely be coming back to a lot in the future. Thanks for listening.
Hello everybody, Carzy from Pixelphiliac here, and I'm here to talk about my favorite Mario game. My favorite Mario game is going to be one that I just have the fondest memories of, and that is Paper Mario. I remember playing this as a younger lad and thinking it was really cute and quirky. Like, I love the aesthetic, even though everyone's made of paper. The game does a really good job of playing with that idea, making Mario slide into things and just twirl around, and you could see through him basically. So the game has like no shame in admitting that everything is made of paper basically. I like his allies. They're cute and they're unique. This has like the guise of a regular RPG game, just but with a Mario skin, and it works. It just works. It's a really fun game. I highly recommend it. The progression is very satisfying, I find, with the badges and the star powers. The enemies are quirky. Most of the bosses are unique in some fashion. I mean, it's still a Mario game, so it's gonna be familiar faces, but you know, they work with what they got, and it works. It just works. And the fights aren't like your typical take your turn style fights either. I mean, that it is take your turn style, but there is some interactivity between the items, and when you use abilities, you gotta like mash the A button or hold the stick to proper direction. You know, you got it also has timing with the jumps that you got to get down, and by the end of the game you're so used to it, you're just doing a ton of damage jumping on their head, and it all feels like it's a little bit like Legend of Dragoon, where the combat made you feel like you were still a part of it, you know, just enough that you had to get this timing down, and when you got the timing down, the game rewarded you. And that reward was satisfying to me. The story is also very lighthearted and cute. I mean, if you're expecting for something as like in-depth as a Final Fantasy game, you're not gonna get that, but it's very charming, and it just flows right with the overall aesthetic and feel of the game on how it just evolves to be Paper Mario. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's pretty thick with the nostalgia glasses, but if you like RPGs and you don't mind something kind of lighthearted and quirky, I highly recommend Paper Mario and its sequel, Thousand Year Door. Both of them are very good. Alright, take care everybody. Well, bye-bye.
My favorite Mario RPG is Puzzles & Dragons Mario Edition. This game is so— I can't say that with a straight face. It's Thousand Year Door. The original game may have introduced the Paper Mario formula, but Thousand Year Door perfected it. Everything is improved here. To start with, this game might just have my favorite battle system in an RPG. It keeps the basic skeleton of the original and builds on it. Instead of a handful of action commands that get repeated, just about every attack has its own unique action command to deal with. Not only that, but these battles take place on a stage, where the audience can affect the battle by refilling your special attack meter, giving you items, and throwing stuff at you. Not to mention, there are also moments where elements of the stage will randomly affect the battle, making things that much more interesting. The partners were also a step up. Sure, there were technically fewer of them, but they all had much more fleshed out personalities and more unique abilities in battle. The overworld of Rogueport is also really great. It provides just the right balance of convenience and exploration, while still giving plenty of things to do. The humor is also a step up. The first game was funny, but this one's hysterical. Where this game shines the brightest, however, are the chapters. Each chapter tells its own self-contained story, each with its own memorable characters. Seriously, I would argue this game has the most memorable cast of characters in any Mario game. It's not just story that makes the chapters great either. The locations all feel completely unique. With a few exceptions, each chapter feels really new and different. The best part of the chapters, though, is the gameplay. Each one has you doing something different. There's one where you command 100 smaller creatures, like in Pikmin, one where you work your way up the ranks of a fighting ring, and even one where you solve mysteries on a train. I am Defoffilizer, and it really is a shame that we didn't get another Paper Mario game like this. Oh wait, that's right, I'm not closing out the video this time. On to the next person then. Bye!
I think it's safe to say that Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door is like a national treasure at this point. It is easily one of the most loved and adored Nintendo games of all time. and for a good reason, so you could expect this game to be my number one. The Thousand Year Door took everything from the first game and bumped it up to 1000. The story is unique and incredibly deep, the gameplay is once again simple, yet perfect, and the partner characters are all fleshed out and detailed to a crisp. And yet again, the music is so wonderful. 2 words, Petal Meadows. From the antagonist of the Shadow Queen to the unique chapters of Glitzville, this game does everything right. I literally have to go off script here just to tell you how much I feel for this game. Every single chapter feels like an individually wrapped up story that Nintendo gave us handcrafted. It feels like every chapter is a piece of a brand new game. You can tell that the music pieces were scripted and wrote and performed in such beauty. There is nothing, and I mean really nothing, quite like Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door that you can find from Nintendo's Mario history. And that's why if we could only see something along the same lines from Nintendo today, I think everybody will learn to appreciate Paper Mario more.
Taking the top spot is Super Paper Mario, originally for the GameCube, then ported to the Wii. This is a very unpopular opinion, and Super Paper Mario is not for everyone, but just hear me out. Super Paper Mario continued the paper style laid out by other games in the series, but the similarities start to decrease from there. This game feels almost like a traditional Super Mario side-scroller, not so much the three-dimensional movement allowed by the other games in the series. Speaking of 3D, Super Paper Mario's distinctive gameplay mechanic, or one of the two, is your ability to switch back and forth between 2D and 3D, kind of like the transition between the 2 dimensions in Odyssey to solve puzzles or avoid enemies. I liked it because it felt like we were seeing traditional Mario games from a new angle. And it often felt rewarding for making the switch to avoid enemies that definitely would have killed me in the past. The other mechanic was switching players. Each of the playable characters, Peach, Bowser, Luigi, and, well, Mario, has special traits that allow, and sometimes require, you to switch between players to solve problems or to clear areas. Most of the time, you'll probably stick with Mario, but having the ability to switch makes for a more fun change in pace. It's a story-rich game as well. That's a positive for me, but I have heard people complain about how much text there was to read and or click through. Much like the Thousand Year Door, I enjoyed the story, as I'm not the type to really enjoy just playing through a game. Remember when I said it's an unpopular opinion to say Super is better than other Paper Mario games as well? Well, what's not unpopular is saying that Super Paper Mario has the best story in any Mario game. And even better than a lot of other Nintendo games. Nintendo did something unique and didn't just have cutscenes to explain what was going on. In between chapters, there would be text boxes that explained some of the events that occurred before the game. And if you're like many people, you may have just skipped through these. But if you're interested in the story, didn't. Now, let's talk about the soundtrack. I'm gonna say it now, and feel free to disagree with me in the comments, but I think Paper Mario is the best soundtrack of any Mario RPG, and that's just saying something. Just listen to the Gloam Valley theme, the Castle Bleck theme, the Sammer's Kingdom theme, the Brobot Battle theme, and especially the Ultimate Show. The songs mesh modern Mario music with retro style music, and they could not have done it better. Time to talk about all the secrets and optional content. There are 4 extra pixels that you can unlock that aren't needed to beat the game, but do have benefits such as barrier and running faster. There are 2 pits of 100 trials, one in Flipside and one in Flopside. For a relatively easy game, these will test your patience. You have to go through 100 different rooms of enemies, find a key, and then move on in a limited amount of time. Outside of that, there are arcade machines, enemy cards, stories, and more. Super Paper Mario represents the old and new in Mario games. The block key characters mixed with the more modern-looking characters, the retro modern music and 2D gameplay, and 3D gameplay. This game is just amazing. So please give it a try if you haven't yet.
What's up? It's Seth from Seth and All. And I understand you want me to tell you what my favorite Mario game is. Well, I forgot to do this, so I don't have one prepared, so just give me a sec to look one up. Okay, it looks like Mario 64 is a solid answer to go with, but you can't choose the first one that pops up, because otherwise people will realize you just looked it up. So you have to go down a few and choose one that looks appealing to you. For me, that's Super Mario Galaxy, so we'll just click on that. And you want to know why it's my favorite game? Well, it got 4.5 stars at GameStop. It has a 97% approval rating at Metacritic, and it has 4.6 out of 5 stars at Walmart. Also, apparently a little birdie told me 47% of Google users approve of this video game. So, of course it has to be good, right? Let's just go to Wikipedia real quick and see more reasons why it's a good game to choose. Well, it's a great game because Nintendo aimed to make the game appeal to players of all ages. The designing team had more freedom in designing it compared to other Super Mario games because of the outer space setting. I love the outer space setting, don't you? Now, let me be serious with you guys here. The real reason why I love Super Mario Galaxy is I just love the idea from jumping to planet. It's such a unique idea in Mario games. I also love the aspects of the rabbits. In a lot of Mario games you have to catch rabbits to get secrets. Well, in this game the functions and the idea of catching the rabbit, it just runs so smoothly and it makes it really fun. I also love collecting the power stars, and I love feeding those little stars to those big fat stars and making them so fat that they explode in planets. That's just so fun to me. And the real reason why this is my favorite game is the little Easter egg here in the cover of the video game. So you see these little stars in the corner of a few of the letters. Well, if you put these letters together, it spells "You are Mr. Gay." Now, that's just delightful, don't you think? I love that Easter egg, and that's the main reason why it's been my favorite game for a really long time. I'm just kidding. My favorite Mario game is Super Mario Kart Tour. Get it on mobile.
What's going on, guys? This is Fennec here from Fennec Foxy Official, and today I'm explaining my favorite game is Mario 64. Not because I'm good at it, because I'm actually quite horrible at it, but when I was a baby, I actually used to fall asleep to the music, which obviously I don't remember, but my parents used to tell me that I wouldn't fall asleep to like regular music. So, but they figured out that I fell asleep to the Mario 64 opening music and Mario saying, "It's-a me, Mario." So they actually took that and they recorded it on a VHS tape, and they played it for me to go to sleep at night. So the whole Mario 64 is very nostalgic for me, and it brings back a lot of good memories. I mean, not that I remember being a baby, but you know what I mean. It holds a special place in my heart, especially because it's different than other Mario games. It's not just the 3D element was new to Mario, so they were kind of still experimenting. So it's different than other modern 3D Mario games. But anyways, that's my favorite game, Mario 64. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Cody Blade, and my favorite Mario game is Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 debuted on the Nintendo 64, as you probably could figure from the title. Now, Super Mario 64 is one of the most innovative games to have ever came out, and at the time it was claimed to be a game of creation history. It just was seen for its creation at the time. It was the first Mario game to have ever came out in 3D, the first fully 3D Mario game. It was also the first game to use a free camera. A free camera is a camera free from the characters in the game, meaning that the camera isn't focused on the character's view and is focused on some of the scenery around and doesn't have to be directly on the character itself. The innovation from this game would go on to create countless games like GTA, etc., etc. The free roam ability in this game was also used in similar games. This game's abilities would help to go on for the innovation of third-player games, third-person games, as we know it. And the gameplay today still holds up with amazing levels, amazing architecture. It has amazing innovation and an amazing story as well, and all the freedom and choices you get to do with how the game forms based on your decision just makes it the best Mario game in my honest opinion. And I'd have to say it is on par to be one of the best Nintendo games of all time. I have been Cody Blade, thank you.
Hey, my name is Ruben and I run the Emerald Sona channel. My favourite Mario game just happens to be Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U. It's a successor to the other 3D Mario platformer, 3D Land for the 3DS. Now, this is different from our usual 2D platformers, having a third-dimensional environment. It's similar to Mario Galaxy for the Wii from this aspect. Personally, this game has done so much more than provides an amazing platforming experience. It has also brought me closer to friends and family. Being a 4-player multiplayer, you have the choice to play with more people, and hot damn is it fun. Picking up each other, working together, beating enemies, and just having that high five at the end of a hard level, it's just an amazing feeling I wish for everyone to feel. Now, this game brings a new power-up to the plethora of abilities Mario has at his disposal, being the Cat Mario suit, which allows to climb, scratch, and meow his way to victory. It even allows you to climb the flagpole right to the top. It's an easy level up. We have some new fun types of levels and a whole new Bowser fight, which is one of the most fun fights I've had against Bowser in a while. The new pipe system achieved an amazing new mechanic, such as throwing fire in items and having them pop out the other end of the pipe. You can even float through them, which is some of the most fun I've had with pipes in the entire Mario franchise. All this stuff's inspired so much stuff to exist in Super Mario Maker 2, where it had lots of aspects from this game. Some levels from Mario Maker 2 that you may have as favourites or you enjoy a lot wouldn't exist if they'd not made 3D World. In conclusion, this game brought old ideas, refined them for a beefier console, and became my favourite Mario game of all time.
Hey Game Domain people, I'm Suboldu from the Suboldu channel and I'm going to talk about my favorite Mario game, Mario Kart Wii. It is a fun RPG, I mean racing game, and offers a lot to Mario fans, even if it is just another Mario Kart game. It is very polished and still holds up today, gameplay-wise. It has a lot of maps and different nooks and shortcuts on every map to stay fresh. To me, it's the Smash Melee of Mario Kart. I have so much nostalgia for the game and destroying my brother's self-esteem while sitting in the living room with my pink controller, spamming B so I can instantly use any power-up I get. Especially Bullet Bill. Thank you, Bullet Bill, for letting me win at Mario Kart. Especially Coconut Mall. Oh, and did I mention that every map is amazing, even Rainbow Road? Because they are. I don't know what else to talk about, but I've got to get this to at least 1.5 minutes before I can end it. Which is fair, just like Mario Kart. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. But I think I've reached the minimum time, so thank you Game Domain for letting me do this. Goodbye.